I'm new. I'm here with
Kitty, Belle,
and Chloe. And we've got a super fun pretend campfire craft. Now on Friday, we have a long extended day because when we're at in-person camp, we do a campfire and an overnight. And it's always fun to pretend we're having a campfire on Friday. So every year we've made a little pretend campfire. And here is our pretend, you see I have a little extra yarn there, pretend campfire that we have for this year. It's just that way we can have a little campfire as we just, sing by the fire, right?
Yeah.
So, campers, you ready to see how to make it's a paper plate, by the way, with yarn. How to make your paper plate yarn campfires?
Yeah.
I should actually show you what you need instead of get started, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, campers, you ready to see what you need?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, now to make our campfire, for those of you that got a camp kit, this is what it'll look like. It was probably with your clipboard. It was near your clipboard. It may have gotten a little crinkled up. It's okay. You can tell mine's a little crinkled, and obviously you got to be careful about how tight you thread it because mine's a little. Well, I was thinking I wanted it like this, which means it's a little less waddy if I do like that. So, of course, we got to have a gnat flying around in here if I do like that. See, look, now it's a little less waddy. Have to put some little pretend stones or something. I don't know. We'll finish figuring it out, won't we? Okay, so we have our campfire yarn campfire paper plate. This label is not the same because when we printed this off, we hadn't finished the name of it. So the first thing you're going to need, of course, is a paper plate. This is those kind of white, flimsy, cheap paper plates. Works great for crafts. Let's see what else we've got in here. We've got our yarn. We've got a whole bunch of yarn, and we just have some flame colored yarns. Now, if you got a camp kit, kind of got a little crazy with the yarn, so you've got way more than you actually need. You don't have to use it all. You can save what you have for another project. So, some yarn. We've got some yellow, sparkly stuff, some orange, some colors that I always say it's like cinnamon. What do you think?
Yeah, cinnamon red.
Cinnamon red. Okay. Reminds me of cinnamon gum, huh? And then a piece of brown construction paper, and that's to make your little logs. We also, what we need to add to it is our pair of scissors, our pencil, draw the outline, our hole puncher, and also our glue. Now we have selected to go ahead and use a tacky glue because the yarn's kind of here, we're taping kind of over the yarn, and school glue won't typically stick to yarn. You may have some luck with school glue, but we just thought we'd go ahead and stick with the tacky glue. So that's what we need to make our design. Now, I was thinking later if we have some markers here, we could take like a dark marker and kind of put some little wood grain on our logs or something, but obviously that's optional.
We could also draw stones.
You could draw some stones. You could probably have a field day color some smoke or all sorts of stuff. So markers too you can add on there. So campers, you ready to see? Hold on. Look, now we're making a paper campfire, pretend campfire by the light of our pretend campfire. How's that? Alright, campers, now are you ready to see how to make this craft?
Yeah!
Awesome. Now the first thing we're going to do is take our paper plate and kind of imagine with our pencil where we want our, imagine with our marker, because you use your pencil so you can make mistakes, but you cannot see that marker, at least not at all on my camera view. So you can make whatever kind of shape you would like that reminds you of kind of a campfire flame. Thought it kind of looked like some mountains or something too, but just, whatever you want. Kind of keep it in the middle of your paper plate. And you saw I ended up folding up mine. Now this is a little tricky part because you kind of got to take it and fold it just a little bit. And this part's a little tricky. I think it might work better from the back. If you fold it, don't crease it, but you fold it enough to get it to cut. So, yeah, do that. So I'm going to cut that out. So why don't I have my campers go ahead and get started too many directions at once. So go ahead and get started. Why they're keeping going, I'm going to show you. You might have noticed it's a little bit hard to cut into some of these corners. So when I cut, sorry, that piece hanging off, don't I? When I cut into this one corner here, instead of trying to pull it this way and round the corner like this, if I cut back towards it, it'll make for a nice sharp corner, especially since these plates are a little heavy and it's hard to. You can see I cut, instead of continuing to try and cut that part off here, if I turn it this way, I can cut in this direction, and it makes it that much easier. So I'm going to go ahead and give you the next step as they kind of keep going. They're all done. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take my hole puncher, and I'm not going to put them too close to the edge, but I'm going to go ahead and punch holes. I'm going to go all the way around my flame this way, and you got to kind of watch when you're doing the parts right here about where you put that, because you want to make sure there's some paper here, otherwise it'll rip. You want to put some holes along the bottom and just kind of space them out however you want them. So we'll go ahead and do that next step. Now our yarn that came in our craft kits look like this, and you may think, oh no, that'll take forever to untangle. I'm trying to find one that's easy to see on camera because it's the same color over the same color. But all this is an overhand knot, and it's used just to get that yarn to stick together. If you see, if we just pull it, loosen it up. Now if we would have yanked it tight, that happened at camp a little while ago. People start yanking it tight and then it can't get undone. But if you just leave it loose, because I tied it loose, you can just undo the whole big knot at once. So you undo your yarn. Now the next thing we're going to do is find it into the yarn. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and cut this because I did the other one without cutting it, and it's really long. So the first thing we're going to do is tie a little overhand knot in the end. So we hold her in our hand, left hand's this, right hand's here, 3 Girl Scout fingers, twirl it over and around. And it just occurred to me we probably should have already learned knots, which we're doing tomorrow, or no, Thursday. So just tie a little knot in the end of that, and then that way it's easier to thread. You can use that knot almost like a needle. So just start, and you can go up and down, side to side, however you want. And then let me pull it all the way through. And I found this works easiest. Let me make sure. So we go ahead and take this little tail, and we tie a knot here. And then that way we don't have to worry about it. Now we don't want to pull tight because this will rip. So we need to be gentle. So there we go. I tied a knot, and then that way it'll just hang on. And I just take the other end, and I just pick a hole. You know, go up to the top, wherever you want to go. So you just, of course I got to get it wrapped around the plate wrong, huh? So if you do that, make sure it's on the same side of the plate. Let's try that again. Just put it, so I'll put it through the hole. And then bring it down. You may want to hold it on the back. You can see I'm holding it on the back. Hold it on the back. Pull it again. And just put it in the different holes. You can do it however you want your campfire to be. So when I'm done to the last bit, you can either try and end up back over here where that little tail is, and just do that, and we'll just tie another knot. And you can keep going. You can use as much or as little of the yarn. Just don't pull it super tight, because if you pull it tight, it will start to buckle. So we're just going to keep doing that, and we'll yeah, we'll just go ahead and do that. Campers, you ready to string your yarn?
Yeah.
Awesome. So this doesn't end up being a really, really long video watching us do it. I'll show you the end. Just you can see where we're tying the different knots. I've used some square knots to go on the back, so you know, whichever of the knots that you know. Overhand knot at the end. We're going to take our brown paper and just cut a log or two. And remember, your bottom here where Kitty was worried about the string she's got hanging on, we'll just cut it a little short and we'll glue our brown paper on, and then you'll never even see the bottom there. So just keep going. So we will show you our finished products when we're done, because we're gonna go take these and probably go sit on the couch and work on them for a little bit. All right, we'll see you in a little bit.
Bye.
And we're finished. Well, not quite, because we have to do this next. Glue, lid, close. That's the last step. Now we're finished, because we put the lid back on the glue. If you have the twist tie, you close the glue and then you're done. So very good. Well, we have finished our little paper plate fires. You can see here, I'll hold Chloe so this is a little easier to hold. You can tell Chloe's got a little, like my first one. Don't pull it tight. You have to keep it very loose. You can see I used all 3 of my colors. Kitty decided just to use some of her colors and not all of them. So there we go. There's our little pretend campfires. And as you saw, we for those of you doing camp week right now, yeah, I should have learned those knots, huh?
Yeah.
We have used the overhand knots to keep the ends from fraying, and we've used a square knot when I tied some together. I don't know if you can see that at all, probably not. So you practice your knots too with this craft, so it is a knot craft. And then you have a cute little pretend campfire, because real campfires can't bring them inside. So we have a pretend campfire for our Friday campfire. All right, well, we hope that you had fun, and we'll see you later. Bye!
Bye.